Hello vinyl community, it's Andrew here once again with some more record finds. I haven't been making any videos just recently, so I thought I'd get on today and show you some that I've managed to get just recently. I've done really well over the last year because a record shop near me has been selling all their excess stock for, it started off at £2 for £1, then it was £4 for £1, then it was £8 for £1, and I managed to get quite a lot of really great ones from there. But that seems to have dried up now, and I've been checking through my collection and trying to find out which records I've got missing from a particular artist, and I've been sort of concentrating on trying to get those. I've got some from eBay and some from Discogs, and mostly from record shops. I sort of set my limit that I don't pay any more than £10 really for a record, so the majority of records I'm going to show you today have been sort of around about £5, something like that. There is one exception which I paid £15 for, and I'll show you that in a moment. And then again, there's one or two that I've managed to pick up very, very cheaply. So instead of me waffling on, we'll just get straight onto it. And the first one that I managed to get was one I got missing from Jethro Tull. This is Broadsword and the Beast. This one was released in the 1980s, and it alienated quite a few fans because it's quite different to the sort of more progressive style. And then they went through a period where it was quite sort of folky and that sort of thing. This one's a little bit more like Dire Straits, if you want a comparison. But I actually love it. I think it's really great. In fact, I like all the Jethro Tull albums. There isn't one I don't like. They're all slightly different in their own way, but maintaining the Jethro Tull sound. So I was really pleased to get this one because this is one that I got missing from my collection. And this one's not an original pressing. It's on a later pressing. It's on the white Chrysalis label, but it's in lovely condition. And I think I paid about £4 for that one. This is the one that I paid £15 for. This is the Moody Blues, To Our Children's Children's Children. The reason why this one was actually more expensive was because it's actually a mono copy. And I had got the stereo copy, but I did see this one, and you don't see many mono records, especially one from 1969, because it was more or less the last of the mono records. And so I thought I'd pay a little extra for this one. It's in lovely condition. And this one's on the Threshold label. It's on the pink Threshold label, which normally you would see a sort of purpley blue colour, but because this one's mono, this is sort of on a pinky red colour. And it's a great album. I love side 2 of this one. It's considered to be one of the lesser Moody Blue albums of the period, but I think it's really, really great. I love side 2 on it. Another pickup that I've got, this one I think I paid £4 for this one as well. This one was Chairman of the Board, or is Chairman of the Board, The Skin I'm In. I've got the other 3 albums of theirs, but this one was missing, so I was really pleased to get this one. It completes the set. It's slightly different, this one, to the normal sort of poppy soul orientated. It's more sort of jazz, a little bit deeper soul type of thing, a little bit more akin to sort of like these soul groups like Funkadelic and that sort of thing. It's got that sort of feel to it, but it completes a set, and I was really, really pleased to get that one. This one's on the Invictus label. This one is actually now distributed by CBS by this time, so instead of sort of the blue Invictus, it's sort of like a grey Invictus label on that one. This was a cheap one. This one I got 50p I paid for this one, and I nearly just passed over it because it's in sort of a very sort of cheap looking cover. But it's actually not a compilation. It's 2 original albums. It's pressed in the Netherlands, and it's actually 2 complete albums. On one album you've got Rock of the Westies, and you probably recognise the inner sleeve for that. And then on the other record it's a song, it's called A Single Man. A Single Man, that's it. I was going to say Song for Guy, but it's called A Single Man, so it's actually the original album. So it's 2 original albums in rather a sort of cheap repackaging, and 50p, that's great, and it was in lovely condition. It's got quite a nice picture of Elton in the middle there. So yeah, I thought I'd get 50p, and I say it's in superb condition. Another one I picked up with 50p, and I was really pleased about that because this one's one missing from my Brenda Lee collection. This is called All Alone Am I. And funnily enough, in a record shop I went in previously, I'd seen this and it was £15. But it wasn't one I really wanted to pay £15 for. and then the next time I went into a record shop, it was in the 50p bin, and it's in lovely condition too. This is on the Decca label, so it's an American pressing, and it's really excellent condition as well. Another couple of cheap ones I got was 2 albums by Lonnie Donegan. These are on the Golden Guinea label. These were 20p each, and I don't really know much about Lonnie Donegan actually, apart from the obvious ones like My Old Man's a Dustman and Does the Chewing Gum Leave Its Flavour. And I thought there's got to be more to him than those sort of records, because he was incredibly popular in his day. And these both came out in 1962. One's Volume 1 and Volume 2, and for 20p I couldn't go wrong. I haven't actually played these yet, but it'll be interesting to see what other things he did. There's Jack of Diamonds on here, Gambling Man, Tom Dooley's on there as well, Putting on the Style. I seem to remember some of these titles, so I probably will know them when I play them. What else is on here? Battle of New Orleans, Cumberland Gap. I think I know that one actually. So yeah, 20p each, brilliant. Then I got the Fantastic Fifth Dimension. This is a compilation. A bit vague about Fifth Dimension, don't really know too much about them. I do know sort of Up and Away, and Wedding Bell Blues is another one that I knew. This one's on the Liberty label. This is actually a German pressing, and it's a compilation of their hits, I presume. There's things like The Magic Garden, Carpet Man, What's the Worst That Could Happen, California Soul, and there's a cover version of Ticket to Ride on there as well. Played this once. It's actually very nice. It sounds a bit dated. It's a bit mama and popperish really. I think these sort of vocal groups were very popular in the late 60s. So yeah, it's a good find, that is. And it's got a nice sort of inner sleeve. And this one's £1, so couldn't really say no at that. Another artist I really like is Alan Parsons Project, and this one's called The Turn of a Friendly Card. It's really excellent. Love it, really love it all the way through. Very recommended if you haven't heard this one. And this one's on the customised Arista label. This was £1 as well. And sometimes you think, oh, it's a bit wrecked, you know, if they're only £1. But again, it's in absolutely mint condition. So I was really, really pleased to get that one. Another group I like a lot is Styx, the American rock group. This is another £1 find as well. This one's called The Grand Illusion. It's one of those that I'd got missed out of my sort of Styx collection. And this one is from 1977. So I think this was their breakthrough album. I think the next album they made, which was, I think it was Peters of Eight, was the one that really sort of got them really famous. But this is the one prior to that. And it's got great artwork on there. Really, really nice. And to get that for £1 was a good find. Mike Oldfield's another favourite of mine. I got all his, apart from this one. This one's called Discovery. I do have this on a CD. It's one of the first CDs I've ever bought, actually. And it's always been one of my favourite albums, but I've never really seen it on vinyl. This, again, was in the £1 bin, amazingly. Lovely condition. Got some great tracks on there. To France is on there, Tricks of the Light. And then an instrumental which is a bit more in his style. It's called The Lake, which is also very, very good. So, again, it's very nice to get this on an LP. And this is on the customised Virgin label. A group I'd never heard of, but I was intrigued by the cover actually, is this one. This one's called, it's called Roxy, and it's by the band called Roxy. Never heard of them. It's from 1968, I believe, 68 or 69. It's on the original Elektra label, the red Elektra label. And it's sort of very 60s sounding, very a bit psychedelic. Not sure, I mean I've played it once, but I can't really say that anything sort of really stuck out as tracks, but it's got that very, very sort of psychedelic 60s feel about it. I'm sure after I've played it a few more times I'll get to like it a bit more. One that I remember having from years ago is Relayer by Yes. I hadn't got this one anymore because I gave it away to somebody. It was one of their albums I could never really get into. I liked Fragile and Close to the Edge, but this one I never really get into it, and a friend of mine liked it, so I just gave it away. And I always regretted it because it's left a gap in my collection. Anyway, I managed to get this one. This one was £5, I think. and quite expensive really, because it's not in terribly good condition, but the vinyl's in very good condition, and I suppose that's really what matters. And that's on the customised Atlantic label. I actually played it again, and I still can't get into it, but it just filled that gap, and I'm sure if I play it a few more times I will get to like it. This is one that I'd never seen before. This is Dusty by Dusty Springfield. This is actually a second album. This is actually an Australian pressing, and I'd never seen this cover at all. And this one's on the Phillips label. It's got Phillips written in orange on it, which is a bit unusual. And it's got things like All Cried Out, My Colouring Book, I Just Don't Know What to Do With Myself. I don't think it was issued in this country in this format. I think it probably had a different title. It certainly had a different cover, because I'd never seen that cover before. So that was a really nice find. That was £4. Then this one intrigued me. I'd never seen this one either. This is the Supremes, Sing Rogers and Hart. And it's not bad. I'm not sure. I mean, the jury's still out on this one. It's got all the well-known songs like My Romance, Dancing on the Ceiling, The Lady is a Tramp, that sort of thing. And it's sort of done in sort of Motown style. So I'm not over keen on it, but it does again fill a gap in my Supremes collection. I'm sure I'll perhaps get to like it after I've listened to it a bit more, but the two don't seem to match up in my opinion. I'm sure a lot of people think it's great, but it just seems a bit strange to me why they would make a record of covers of Rogers and Hart songs. But anyway, worth having. Herman's Hermits has been a group that I've never really had much knowledge of really. This is so I picked this one up. This one was £4 as well. This one's Herman's Hermits on tour. It's not a live album, it's just their second album I think. And it's got songs like I'm Henry VIII I Am. Silhouettes is on there as well, that's the one I know well. And this one's on the American MGM label, which is quite a nice label. And yeah, I was very impressed with it actually, because I don't really know much about Herman's Hermits, apart from the big hits like I'm Into Something Good and No Milk Today is another one that everybody knows. Yeah, I was really impressed with that, so I'll look out for some more Herman's Hermits records. And actually I did, because the next one I bought, also £4, was Herman's Hermits Volume 3, Best of Volume 3. Really nice cover on that one, nice sort of painting of Peter Noon on there. This also won the MGM label. I think they had a lot more hits in America than they did in Britain. And well, enough to actually make Volume 3 of the hits. And this one has No Milk Today on it. East West is another one new actually. But again, I was very impressed with it. They're actually a lot better than I ever thought they were. Yeah, that's another good one for my collection. Another amazing find was this one. I mean, this one is, everybody knows this one. This is the Beatles 62-67 double album. This was £4 as well. I actually have this one already, but my copy isn't terribly good. It's passable, but it's a bit crackly in places. And what struck me was how nice the cover was on this one for £4. But what I didn't realise, and I was absolutely thrilled with when I looked at it, it's actually the red vinyl copy as well. And it's actually in mint condition, absolute mint condition. When I played it, it plays perfectly all the way through, as if it's brand new. So for £4 I thought, wow, that's a really good find. Deep Purple is another favourite of mine, and this was one of the records that I got missing. This is Stormbringer. Excellent, really excellent record. I love this one. It's really, really good. It's nice to hear sort of tracks that I'm not familiar with. We're also so familiar with all the hits that Deep Purple had, and this one has some really different tracks on it that I wasn't aware of. And so it was great to hear some new stuff by them, and it's a really, really superb album. This one was £8, this was a bit dearer. It's in mint condition though, and it's on the Purple label. And last but by far not least is Kraftwerk Autobahn. I've got all the first albums of Kraftwerk the last one being Computer World. This was one that I had missing. This is Autobahn, and I was really pleased to get that. This was £4 as well, and this is on the original pressing. It's got the embossed lines on the front, which I'm told means that it's the original pressing of it, and this is on the Vertigo label with the spaceship on it, which is really, really nice. So that sort of completes my Kraftwerk collection. I have got one or two other of the later albums still to get, but these are sort of considered to be the classic Kraftwerk albums, and I have all of those now, so I'm really pleased with that. Okay, well that's my latest finds. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to be on here very, very soon with another one. Thank you for watching.